it. I thought it was really nice, and then I realised that this is not the way you're meant to wear it. It's actually like shit. But anyway, I just didn't Peter Allen for the night, you know. Anyway, hello. I'm just going to finish off the first act, coming back to what Chris started with, which is neighbours and kids. But anyway, I'm Claire. I'm just your average 35-year-old woman, you know, married, have a kid, hate my husband. But no, that's actually a lie. I'm 36. So we moved house recently, right? And they say that moving house is as stressful as like when a family or a close friend dies, right? And I love that someone you've potentially known your entire life dying is on par with not having Wi-Fi for a week. Anyway, we moved and we got a new neighbour. He's this little old man. He's about this tall, wrinkly. We call him Yoda. And I just have to share with you, last week when that torrential rain was happening, I was reversing out of my driveway, and imagine him, but he literally exited his house and was just wearing a full, like, I know what you did last summer raincoat. Absolutely terrifying. But anyway, so back to when we moved in. So we moved in, it was like 2 days we were in the house, and we had this pump thing next to our house, we didn't know what it was, and he came over, very assertive, and he was like, oh, you've got a pump on the side of your house, and we were like, oh my God, we're so sorry, like, you know, this little old man, he just wants his peace and quiet. But no, the next day, he doesn't mind noise, he was just playing music from his garage, loud, right, into the whole street, which was weird, but even weirder, it was Beyonce and all single ladies put a ring on it. Anyway, I figured that he's just old and he knows what he wants, okay? So he's like, oh, I'll listen to a pump and I'll listen to Beyonce's greatest hits until the day I die. Absolutely. Yeah, well, I don't blame him, actually. But yeah, so we got the new neighbour, that was good. And, you know, it made me think that we're getting older, right? So I'm 36, my husband's 38, and I know that we're getting older because our social media ads have changed. So for my husband, he's getting midlife crisis stuff like cars and boats and jet skis, but as a woman, I just get, you too can beat menopause. I don't get an older too because I got multiple chins now, like one for each lockdown. Excited by a salad. Like, I went into Coles the other day and I was like, oh, a salad! It's never happened before. Yeah, and you know who's old? My grandma. She's 102. Yeah. When she turned 100 a couple of years ago, we were like, wow, that's amazing. Then she turned 101 and we were like, we were not expecting that. Then she turned 102 and like, I didn't know what to write on the card anymore. She probably died by now. Oh, it's difficult. But also, the other side of life, right? My son, he's just turned 3, so that means he's gone from being a baby to a little bit of a cunt. He just wants lots of stuff, you know, like food and water and like unconditional love. And, yeah, but anyway, his thing lately was collecting those little Harry Potter toys from Coles. You guys know this? Yeah, the fucking Harry and little fucking Ron, little dickhead. And yeah, so he's like, Harry Potter. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, Coles made them this time out of cardboard to be sustainable, which is great for the environment, but you know, it just doesn't hurt as much as plastic. Yeah, before having a child, I genuinely thought that it couldn't be that bad because people choose to have more than one child. And then I realised that just because a movie has a sequel doesn't mean it's any good. Right? Like, our son is kind of like the movie Grease, but if we have another one, it'll be like Grease 2. And I can say that, all right, because I'm the second child, okay? Right? So for my parents, my older sister, she was like, the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves, and I was like, Speed 2, cruise control with that guy no one remembers. My husband is one of 6, so his family's kind of like the Fast and the Furious franchise. Once you get past 3, nobody gives a shit anymore. He's number 5. There's a lot of toilet training going on in our house at the moment. There's a lot of like wee and poo and screaming and crying, and that's just my husband. I'll dump my son next week. But it's, you know, it's really hard being a parent. Like, I knew this couple and they had their 4 and their 7-year-old alone at home, unsupervised. They just left a camera so they could go off to the races and have a few drinks. And I was shocked. Like, shocked I didn't come up with that idea myself. I will be doing that next Sunday. Yeah, but you know, like, I don't really care if you choose to have kids or not, you know, whatever, personal preference. But something that does shit me is when people say that they have a child when they don't. Okay? So they're like, I'm like, yeah, my pet is my child. Yeah, my pet is my baby. Yes, it is. But did it come out of your cunt? Because it came out of mine, all right? The baby, not the dog. It's not an interesting birth. What is it? Just like, what is it, a boy or a girl? Like, no, it's a Dalmatian. Yeah, and what else is happening? Well, you know, after you have a baby, you know, dogs, right? Like, I just want to say, like, you know, it's not the same, okay? It's not the same. So when you get a puppy, you get Instagram likes. When you have a child, you get forceps. Yes. But you know, yeah, like, you know, it's not the same. You know, like, you can't order a hypergelic kid, can you? You just can't do it. I just said that to fuck, didn't I? Like, how can I kid? I don't know what that was. Yes, let me just check. Yeah, that's the way I wrote the joke. Yeah, no, cool. Yeah, but you know, after you have a child, so you have your mother's group, your parents' group, right? And all you do in that group is you just talk about birth, okay? You've kind of forgotten how to have social conversations. So I remember that we were at a pub and there was a group next to us and they're like talking about the Trump administration and we're just over here just talking about prolapse, you know. You haven't quite lived until you've talked about another woman's organs falling out of her pussy with a glass of Pinot in your hand and so. Hey, cheers! To trauma! Both physical and mental. Another one, Sally. Just pull my shirt down and done. So I'll just finish off that there are some words that you should not say around new parents, okay? So I had a friend call me and he said that moving house for him had been really brutal, okay? Brutal! That's the word he kept saying. Yes. Yeah, he called me 2 days after I gave birth, right? Like, I literally had a rodent come out of me and yawn my tit, as he said. And then there's that phrase, like, you know, like, that was so funny, like, I just peed myself a little. Loving you, Mum. I just type LOL and I piss all over the floor. And then there's that word wrecked, you know, like, oh, I'm wrecked. No, wrecked is the line between my vagina and my ass.